everybody, it's Cody, Dixon RC here. So I went out and bought myself a Ryft. Wasn't going to buy one of these after watching the videos that came out to begin with when they announced this thing. I kind of, if you've watched some live streams that I was on, I kind of talked about how I didn't really like the torque twist and things like that. But after seeing a couple people get one and drive it, looked really cool. I was like, you know what? Why not? You guys deserve to see something cool on the channel, so I got one, and all we're going to do today is unbox it. I'm going to show you a couple things, talk to you about it, a couple different things that I've got planned to do to it. I got a couple of ideas in my head after seeing. Yes, I know people have been breaking these things. I've got a couple of ideas to remedy some stuff, not everything, because I'm not going to make a axle housing just in the shop. I can't do that. So we're going to do other things, but so this thing's pretty cool, man. I think it's I don't really actually know. I know it's 4-link with rear trailing arms in the back. It's got big old long travel shocks. It does have a different drive shaft setup than normal axial stuff. This one has a bigger bore in the center. It does have front and rear differentials, so they're open front or center, and then one on each end. It is still solid axle. There's no independent suspension, which, you know, most of these rock bouncers from down here don't have independent. They do now. That's become a big deal, but before that was not a thing. This one is brushless. It comes ready to run. Just add a battery. It can do 3-cell or 4-cell. 4-cell is a little crazy, but 3-cell should be just pretty good. 4-cell, when you want to get crazy, you can do that. But the other deal, it has a Spectrum system in it. It comes with a Spectrum radio. It does have AVC. It does have telemetry options. I think you can change the receiver to have the Spectrum telemetry stuff. It's got I think I don't actually know what amperage this thing is, but I think the let me turn around here. So it's 130 amp ESC, and it is a smart ESC, so that means you can get the telemetry from it because it does have the little pin on the battery plug. It's a 2200 kV brushless system. It does come with a 6-channel receiver. I think the transmitter is a 3-channel, so it's not really useful to have 6 unless you just add some lights. You can add some pods somewhere or something like that. Who knows? But it's got, tons of licensed stuff. It has, Super Swamper intercos. It's I don't even know where all the stuff went. It was on it's on this side. So, like a Summit Raceline. It's got Raceline wheels. I don't know what Summit's on it, but it does have interior. It does have the shafts that go in the front are a thicker, bigger, beefier shaft. I don't know the exact size, but I don't think it tells me here. But it is a universal, but it doesn't tell me. So let's get this thing out the box. All right, so we got it out of the box. Let's go over all the simple stuff. The remote is a DX3 is what they call it. It's just a simple, bulky 3-channel remote. The third channel is a push button deal, AB. I don't know how you set that up. I'll look into that later, but it does have AVC, so you can adjust, if you can put it all the way to 100% so it doesn't get squirrely with you. It just tries to help. This thing, it actually does work pretty well because, they put Spectrum systems like in the infraction, and when you turn that up, it does actually work pretty well. So it's pretty nice. You get a owner's manual and then a bag with some parts and a couple little screws, and you get AA's. That is the first time I've seen an axial truck come with AA's, which, keep in mind, I haven't bought an axial truck since the 10.2 kit. So, I bought a 10.2 RTR as well. But so I haven't had an axial kit in a long time. So that's kind of a cool addition. I think a lot of companies are starting to do this, which is really cool. That's a good thing to do. So let's get to this big boy here. So this thing is a monster. It is 15, I think the wheelbase is like 15.3 or something like that. Massively huge 2.2s with the normal Raceline wheel. I think this is the same wheel that they used on some of the other trucks across the platform a couple of years and whatnot. Let's do some measuring here. I'm going to try and measure the height of this tire. It is 5 3/4 tall, 5 inches, 3/4 inches. That's a pretty big tire. So the ESC is in the center, as you see. To put the battery in, let's see if I can turn this so you guys can see it. Maybe I won't. I'm gonna have to put something on these because this sucks trying to pull that off of there. My table's not big enough for this big old thing. So the battery goes in here, it slides right in there. Of course, you know, it is an EC5 connector, and it does have the little single wire in the center. That is for the telemetry stuff. I'm going to use a Power Hobby, I got a Power Hobby 5200 50C 3 cell. It's a hard case, so I really wanted to have something like that in there just in case it kind of gets a little wild. I do have a 4-cell battery to go in it as well if I decide I want to go that route. 4 cells a little on the big side, but it will fit. You can see here, the 3-cell fits in there perfect. There is just a little bitty gap right there. Let's see if I can move that so you can see it. Yeah, there you go. It's very tight in there. It's perfect as far as it doesn't move this way. That is in there. So that's good. That's what we want. Let's test the 4-cell and see what it does. I think the 4-cell is going to be a little bit, this one's a little bit taller, but it's the same width. So I think it's going to work. It will not work. So this 4-cell is not going to work because it won't fit through there. So you got to watch your height. There might be a way to lower that, but I don't think there is because it's tied in, the receiver box is tied into it right here. So I don't think the 4-cell is going to work. And that's okay, because I don't really want to go 4-cell just yet. I think this thing needs a couple of improvements before you go 4-cell. Maybe not, I don't know. Just from what I've seen and what I've read, main problems this thing has is axle housings are a bit of a brittle piece. Everybody seems to be breaking theirs right here in this spot, front or rear, it doesn't really matter. It seems like they're not doing anything when they say it breaks, which seems kind of unusual. I don't see how you could just drive straight and that thing break, but maybe it could be, I don't know. But it does have a Servo Saver, and it is very loose, which is, you know, like that on purpose. It does have a Spectrum servo in it, which this makes this a 23 tooth servo, which sucks because I was going to put a metal servo horn on it, but I don't have any 23 tooths, I don't think. So no big deal there. On the back side, you get that's the power plug. It bolts to the spur gear cover, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty neat. Not too bad. You get a GM style 14 bolt metal diff housing, diff cover, excuse me. Let's take the wheel off. You do have to have a 8mm tool to take this off. It does not come with one. And most people that have tools, all they have is one of these, you know, unless you've bought something else, but this thing takes 8mm. The reason being is because the center screw is now, that's 5mm instead of 4mm, so you get it's a bigger lock nut than it used to have. So hence why it went up, which is beefier. That's a good thing. That's what you want. All right, so this axle has a simulated caliper brake disc. It is bolted, the disc or the caliper's bolted to the axle lockout. This is part of the hub. It looks like it may be 2 separate pieces. I don't really know if it's made to this hub or not. You do get metal hexes as well. That's great. This, like I said, this is open diff, so pretty cool. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This thing's, I mean, for what it is, it's going to be great. You know, most of these things, any high power stuff, you got to do a little bit of work to them to make them great anyway. So let me tighten this back down here, and I'm going to pull off let's pull off a drive shaft so we can see it. There we go. So it's going to be that's going to be a 2.5, I bet you. No, it's a 2. Good. All right, let's take this off real quick here. Not super tight. That's good to know. They didn't. I don't even know if that's got any Loctite on it at all. Yeah, it's got a very, very little amount of Loctite on it. So at least it's got something on it. So here's the difference in it's a bigger size. That is a bigger bore. The reason being is the pinions on these things are way bigger than they used to be. I hope that, well, no, not really. I don't really think this is a good option as far as all of them to have the same type of deal here. I don't really know if that's going to be a good thing or not, but let's see how much this pinion moves. It don't move much. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. Cool. All right, and the only way to get to all the electronics and everything, meaning the ESC and the receiver and all that stuff, you've got to take out the bolts on the side of the frame rails here. You know, these are 2 pieces. Just like the bomber and everything else, this whole centerpiece will drop out, the skid, so then you'll be able to get to the transmission and the ESC, the motor, everything like that. We're not going to do that in this video. This was just to show you guys what this thing looks like out of the box. It does come with a nice cool little fuel cell, so you could do some cool little, you know, like a fuel fill thing. The shocks on this thing are large, and guess what? They are not leaking oil, which is cool. It does have bladders, or bleeders, excuse me, not bladders. Front and rear, both metal ends, you know, as far as where you can screw them in. It looks like it has plastic adjusters though. Yes, plastic. You do get some cool little retainers, or like, you know, like a, instead of using like nitro, it's like a limiter kind of deal. Looks like that's a spot for a sway bar. It comes with it ready to go. Does not come with a sway bar. You do have to buy that separately. And that's pretty much it. You do get some pretty beefy links. These are like the links that come on the Capra, which is pretty cool. The only difference is these are a newly designed style rod end. This is kind of a, I don't really know what it's like, a TRX style, but it's not. You do, the difference in these and every other type 1, the balls in them are a little bit wider, meaning, so I have a boom one here. You can see there's it's about about 1.5 millimeter difference width wise. So working on that. Having a lot of people having problems with pulling out the links out of the ends. So I'm trying to see if I could do some boom ends for people. There's not very many ends in this thing. The problem with it is when you do that, you have this, you know, see, you have a little bit of movement. I found a spacer that works on this side, but this is like a 2 mil, so it tightens it up a little bit too much maybe. So I'm trying, we'll find some 1.5 mil spacers and we should be good to go. Be pretty cool to have that as a full rod end kit for you guys to make this thing, so maybe they won't pull out anymore. So, and that's it. Just want to show you guys this thing out of the box and show you what you get when you buy one. And then we're going to put some power to this thing soon, so stay tuned. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.